Hello again, everybody. That was a very fun show this morning, even though we never talk about fun topics, but that's how it goes. Thank you for coming back. Hello, Shannon. Hi, Aggie. Hi, Holly. Hello, Kane Corso. Hello, Just Roll With It. By the way, Just Roll With It is the one that made the thumbnail. She did a great job. Sorry for the late entrance. StreamYard shit the bed. It kept saying, let me read this error real quick. It was like 404 URL not found. So I decided I was going to try to mess around with Restream, like I said I was going to do over the weekend. Well, that confused the hell out of me. Then I was like, well, let me try it again. It kept saying, just wait. It wouldn't even let us go live. But anyway, we're here. It's me and StreamYard don't get along. Hello, Deb. Shannon, Georgia Peach. Hello, Kim. Dallas 420, we got him backstage. Mama Kay, what's up? She said, woot woot. Yeah, there was no woot woot until about 2 seconds ago. I couldn't believe it shut me out. What, Big Eyes? How are you, my friend? I think I got everybody. Hey, Melissa, what's going on, girl? $5. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Thank you for the super sticker. Very much. Cat's Eye, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, yeah, StreamYard really was not being my friend today at all. So this is a really weird case. I put it on the page, I want to say like a week ago. I want to say about a week ago, yeah. And I just think there's way more to this story than what they're putting out. So to surmise it before we get too far into it, they won't say the girl's name, but her, yep, thank you, Mama Kay. Thanks for being part of our family and our community. Melissa, when will you add memberships? Memberships are coming soon. I just haven't really had time to work on that. Anyway, they won't give the girl's name, but her father killed her boyfriend. And his defense is he killed him because he was trafficking her. The story goes on and on and on and on. And Dallas, who's backstage right now, he actually lives in the area. I'm going to bring him up, and Kevin B has some things he wants to weigh in with too. Hello, Dallas.
Hello.
So, you live there.
Yes, I do.
I mean, let's not give out your address or anything because you know how crazy people are. I'm going to read this. This is from the New York Post, okay? And I'm going to bring Kevin up too because he had some really interesting thoughts. And I'm going to drop a link. We're going to have an open panel what everyone thinks. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, everybody again. I think we were just here, weren't we?
It's like Groundhog Day. It's like deja vu all over again.
A double header on a Tuesday.
What do you do? Well, Tuesdays are special days.
Well, we have to talk about summer every day, so that's a gimme. And yeah, this case is interesting in my opinion.
But we always have time for other cases because everybody deserves attention.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to give my address, but by bus, I'm about an hour from where they found the body.
Good God. Okay. Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
I live 21 hours from where they found it. Never mind. Just some right here.
What the hell? You live 21 hours from where they found the body?
Yeah.
Well, hell, you could have stumbled across him any time, Kevin.
Yeah, no doubt, huh? But Texas, that's where I was born, Big Springs, Texas, Webb Air Force Base. Yep.
Well, this happened in Washington.
Oh, okay. I thought, so Dallas, oh, he's a Dallas football. I got it now. Never mind. I'm good.
You're okay.
Well, I live even farther than 21 hours. Anyway, never mind. My nonsense.
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. I'm still mad about StreamYard. That.
Yeah, no doubt. We need to find. Yeah, we need to find another way to stream it, right? StreamYard is just acting up crazy lately, man. We have no control over it.
I was going to talk to What Big Eyes about it and try to figure out Restream or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, we're waiting. We have a new case needs to be talked about, and it says URL doesn't exist.
Yeah, and you get, people get impatient and they get mad because they're sitting there waiting for the live, and but sometimes things happen out of your control. That's just the way it rolls in this world.
Well, and also all the hate mail goes to you, and you can handle it.
That's okay. I got broad shoulders.
That's right. So let's start with this, and we'll go through. This article is from the New York Post 2 weeks ago. Okay. And so more things have evolved since then. So we're just going to try to get everyone up to speed, and we're going to continue to follow this case because something is weird here. Okay. Something's weird. A Washington state father was arrested for allegedly killing a man who he claimed had sex trafficked his teenage daughter. John Eisenman, 60, of Spokane, was charged with first-degree murder in the death of 19-year-old Andrew Sorensen, whose rotting body was found in the trunk of an abandoned vehicle on October 22nd, police in Spokane said. Now, let's think about this. Your daughter was missing. You find out she was trafficked. What would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
If somebody trafficked my daughter, I'd be in prison because I'd kill the son of a bitch. That's what I'd do. Sorry.
What about you, Dallas?
I would do the same thing.
Right. So this has kind of got like I don't know if anyone's read the book A Time to Kill by John Grisham. It's when a father
great movie
gets his own justice for the attackers beyond attack.
The last courtroom scene was absolutely brilliant.
Yep. So this has kind of got the same feel, but we'll get into that in a minute. Cops say Eisenman learned back in October 2020 that his underage daughter was sold into a Seattle area sex trafficking ring, apparently by Sorensen, her then boyfriend. He was able to rescue the girl and bring her back to Spokane. A month later, the dad allegedly confronted Sorensen and abducted him, tying him up and putting him in the trunk of a car. Okay, so now, here we go.
Well, that was a mistake.
Do we take the law into our own hands?
Or
do we let the authorities sort it out?
I wouldn't have took the time to tie him up. So, I don't know. Anyway, there's just something different about this case.
And let me ask Dallas real quick. What do you know about this sex trafficking ring in Seattle?
I've never heard about it till this case.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hang on. Dances in the Rain said the city of Spokane has been united on social media agreeing the killing is justified. Oh, I would tend to agree.
Where my problem is I have a hard time believing that a 19-year-old was involved in a sex trafficking ring, in my opinion.
Well, hell, if you've got something to sell, someone's going to buy it, right, Kevin?
I guess so. I'm just saying that.
Does it matter the age?
No, it doesn't. But that's really young to be involved with something like that. You know what I mean?
Like, how did he make those connections? I want to know that too.
Yeah, that's just fishy. Sorry, that's a red flag.
Okay, so the dad was able to rescue the girl and bring her back to Spokane. A month later, the dad allegedly confronted Sorensen, abducted him, tying him up, and put him in the trunk of the car. I already read that. Eisenman, which is her father, and no one knows her name. She's actually living in California now. Okay? subsequently assaulted the victim by hitting him in the head with a cinder block and then stabbed him repeatedly, causing his death. Well, stabbing is a very personal way of murdering someone.
Yeah, that man was pissed off about something. Right? That's rage. When you stab somebody, I mean, you hit somebody in the head with a damn cinder block and then keep stabbing them. That's absolute seeing red.
No, we don't. They haven't said anything about the boys' family. All we know is that the family has spoken out, is what I've heard.
Yes, I'm going to get to that in a minute because they recently, but of course they spoke to the Daily Mail, so they got paid. All right. When I see the Daily Fail, I instantly go, what'd they pay you? But anyway, they spoke and we're going to talk about that. Innocent till proven guilty. We all agree to disagree in here. You know what I mean? Officers only discovered Sorensen's corpse after Spokane residents reported an abandoned car on their street that was covered in mold and emitting a foul odor. Man.
Huh. Gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I've been hearing is that the father asked, I think, one of his friends or somebody to move the car to where they found the car and body.
Mm-hmm. The vehicle apparently belonged to Eisenman's fiancée, Brenda Cross, the report said. Okay, so it's her car. He killed him and put him in the trunk and went and parked him somewhere?
I don't know. Like I was saying earlier when we were talking before the live that something else is going on here. Like, this dad, if he supposedly doesn't have a record or anything, what he did, if the circumstances are correct, I can justify in a way. He was so pissed off he killed the dude. But on the other hand, I have an inclination there's something else that was going on with him, not her dad, but the boyfriend and the daughter. Something pissed the dad off. He just didn't wake up and decide to kill a 19-year-old kid. I don't believe that at all.
No, I think something was going on. And if his family wants to scream and yell and say he had an IQ of, 81, I'll get into that in a minute. And of course they're going to defend him. They're not going to let him go down as a sex trafficker that was pimping out this girl.
Right.
It said inside was a man. This is when they came to the car. All right. Inside was a man with his ankles and hands bound, tape over his mouth, and multiple puncture marks on his clothing, according to the article. Eisenman opened the door when police tried to contact Cross, the registered owner of the 1991 green Honda Accord, and told cops the car had been stolen in 2020. I wonder, was there a police report made that the car was stolen in 2020?
That we don't know. That will probably be part of the investigation because they'll probably have to look into that.
Right. Hello, what big eyes?
Something stinks, and I don't know what it is yet. I haven't heard enough for this yet.
Right. Just roll with it has a point. What about the blue bandana? Was he in a gang?
Well, that would be the Crips. If it's blue, the Bloods are red. So if he was a Crip, I don't know. That makes sense.
Lisa said, I believe there was a report made. Hey, we've got some new people in here. Go ahead and take a second to like this and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you show love to everyone on the panel and their channels. Hang on, just roll with it. With his fiance's car. Yeah, Brenda is his fiance. Yeah, Brenda's his fiance. Cross later reportedly explained to investigators that the couple's underage daughter had been sex trafficked by Sorensen and she and Eisenman drove to Seattle to rescue her last year. All right, let's start with that. What Big Eyes? What do you think?
Okay, I was just coming across this case this morning, and I was looking at some stuff, and there's really a lot of questions. This case, the man was murdered like a year ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? It was in 2020.
Yes, it was in 2020 where.
Now, hang on.
Yeah.
He was murdered in 2020 because they just found his body October 22nd. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. That answered one of my questions.
Okay. And so then the vehicle was reported stolen back then. So I didn't find anything about when that was reported stolen. And then there's the thing of the history the parents of the murdered guy gave about he was adopted when he was an infant.
Right.
He had cerebral palsy and his IQ was very low. Not, real low, but it wasn't, he wasn't the sharpest tack in the room.
All right.
And he was just a friend of this girl. So it just makes me wonder, it could have been the patsy for what was going on with the girl. And
That's what I'm wondering too.
It's never okay to murder somebody. I mean, there's this thing called laws, and you report to the police, and I can understand the rage, but you got to get past that and then come to reality. Every parent would love to kill somebody who harmed their child, but that's not how we operate, normally. So that's what I think. There's a lot more.
So I think there's a ton to it.
So, the man, her dad that killed this kid, he has no police record, and I'm wondering the same thing. Is this man being framed? I mean, was this because, in my opinion, the ages and gangs make sense to me. Drugs, I mean, there could be a lot of things involved, but you need to know the backstory of the girlfriend and the dude that got killed. What kind of, who are they hanging around with? I mean, there's a lot to decipher.
But see, the dad admitted he killed him.
Oh, wow, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he said why. He said why. When they went to Seattle last year and got her, I don't know if they told authorities and they didn't believe her and he was scared for her safety. I don't know.
Well, if he said it, it's one of two things. He's either taking I don't know, something for his daughter, or, I mean, it's the truth. He did it. He was pissed off, enraged, and he killed the man. And the sex trafficking thing must have happened because I don't see this man doing that for no reason. I don't know.
He believes it. I believe that he believes it. Lisa, I think she's new here. She said that volume is a bit too high. We get loud around here.
Man, I don't talk like Casper Milquetoast. Sorry. I'll just talk through my phone, take my headphone out.
You sound fine on my end. I'm just letting everyone know we get loud around here. Okay, a neighbor contacted police and told them that Eisenman had admitted to killing someone and hiding their body in the trunk of a car, the article said. So yet someone else who didn't call police when he said this probably didn't believe him. Would you believe a story like that from your neighbor? Would you, Dallas?
No.
So my question is, what's the argument here? If the dad admitted to doing it, then what's going on? Why? If he admitted doing it, so I guess he's going to court because, like you said in the movie, same scenario, that his dad was defending his daughter and killed the dude because she was being sex trafficked. So that's the whole story.
Well, we're trying to figure out if she was truly trafficked. Maybe,
Well, it had to
maybe.
be something bad.
Mhm. So he was arrested and he's being held on $1 million bond. Okay, there was a GoFundMe for his legal defense, and GoFundMe took it down. Now, really? Why?
Well, I'm
Well,
going to go
you
protest for this guy and stand up for him for
Okay.
taking care of business, in my opinion.
well, why would they take it down? Was there something phony behind that?
I don't know. I don't think supposedly you can't raise money for a legal defense. I've seen a lot of GoFundMe's. Remember the guy that beat the hell out of his daughter's boyfriend? She had met him online and she was like 14 and turned out he was like 26. And
Yeah.
there was a GoFundMe for that. So yeah, but GoFundMe took it down. So I'm wondering, did the police department say to take it down? I don't know. Just a lot of weird things.
Yeah, this ought to be a very interesting case because there's a lot of unknown factors here and it's very, intriguing.
Well, wasn't I mean they let Jody Arias sell T-shirts, right?
Yeah. Did you buy one, Kevin?
Yeah, I bought one, all right. But I'll tell you what, this guy that took care of business, if his daughter was being sex trafficked, not by will, and kidnapped and stuff, I don't blame that man one bit. I'm gonna go stand up for him. I mean, come on. I mean, I know it's not right to kill somebody. You kill somebody, I'll kill you. I know, I understand that whole concept. But I can also understand why her dad was pissed off if this is the truth.
Well, that's just it. We don't know. And the girl's being protected
Mhm.
and she's not saying anything really,
Well,
you know?
if he admitted to it, he's going to get charged with murder. You know,
He's
he's
already
going to
being
be
charged with
guilty.
first-degree murder. Yeah.
But what's he
Yeah.
going to say in court? Yup, he's going to say the same thing I'm saying. Yup, I'm sorry, I snapped my daughter. I mean, I just lost it, and I hope he gets off if this is all true.
Okay, Lisa has a good point. Dad was probably right that this guy would walk, especially if people are already whining about Andrew's IQ, disabilities, etc. That's what I'm thinking too. Because you can be the dumbest rock in the box and you can still do heinous shit.
Well, that's true.
I mean, we talked
That's
about one a couple hours ago.
Yep.
Holly,
I don't know.
no, there's not. The FBI and Washington State Police said there's no evidence of sex trafficking from what they are saying.
Now that makes a different story then. Now
Yeah.
that is a totally different thing. Then something ain't right. But I just don't see her dad getting involved in killing a teenager. The man doesn't even have a police record. I mean, this is very strange.
Well, there was one incident with police he had before this. I don't recall the details, but there was something there. Maybe we can look into that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I just don't, you know what I'm saying, guys? Isn't it weird that he would just decide to kill a teenage kid for no reason, kind of, because his daughter didn't like him or something? You know what I mean? Something. And if he's admitting to it, then where is the story? I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
there's definitely a lot of layers to this. And I think the key that holds it all is the girl in California that's told Daddy the story.
Yeah, exactly.
and what were the details and circumstances where he found his daughter? Was she being held like a prisoner someplace, and there were other people involved besides this 19-year-old that he murdered. I mean, there's just so much that's not out there.
Or did the 19-year-old boy have dirt on the dad or something? I don't know. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a very personal murder because, he was
Cinder
stabbed to
block
death.
and stabbing. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So Andrew's family has spoken out. And then I'm going to get to some comments in a second. He was born with autism and cerebral palsy. Sorensen didn't have the capability to sex traffic anybody, Father Randy said. I don't believe that for a minute, because no one's saying that he came up with this idea and that he orchestrated it. Someone could have explained it to him and he could have just handed her over. For some reason, these two wound up in Seattle. Okay, and for some reason, she called her father, who went to Seattle to get her. All right.
Yeah.
Something must have happened in Seattle for the daughter to call her dad.
That's what I'm wondering too.
There, my avatar, that would be me if somebody did that to my daughter.
Dear God. Kane said, I'm always a couple of minutes behind. Don't mind me. Nope. All good here. All good here. Okay. Sorensen's parents say their son, who was born with autism and cerebral palsy, is being demonized by Eisenman and his family. His parents adopted him out of foster care when he was just 6 months old, and they said he didn't have the capability to sex traffic anybody. Again, I disagree. I'm not saying that he's the mastermind. I think that obviously him and her ran into some people that told him how to do it, if you know what I mean.
Holly brings up a good point, Brooks.
Mhm.
How did she get that far away from home if he wasn't able to drive? The boyfriend. Did somebody drive him over there?
Who drove him to Seattle? I mean, an IQ of 81, he can drive. Okay, cerebral palsy, you can drive. Autism, you can drive. Did he drive her out there? They obviously were on the internet and made connections in Seattle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The boyfriend and the daughter, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So the boyfriend has cerebral palsy.
According to his parents, yes. Because they're saying that he doesn't have the IQ to do this. How do we know that they didn't get to Seattle and they needed some money and he suggested to her this is a good idea?
Well, he'd be smart enough to drive, because if it's true, the story, he was smart enough to sex traffic her.
Okay, Lisa. Lisa, I'm going to assume you're from the area because you have a lot of really great comments. Lisa said, seems like my son said she'd taken off with this boyfriend, but then he sold her, but I can't remember for sure it was this case we were talking about. Well, it's this case because supposedly he sold her for $1,000.
What?
Yeah, $1,000.
So did they okay, let me ask this question. Did they bust the sex trafficking ring?
No.
Okay,
No,
we don't.
Well,
go ahead, Dallas. I'm sorry.
Seems to me people would have been arrested, the sex trafficking ring, by now. It's been a year.
Kevin, like I said, the FBI in Washington State said there was no evidence
of a sex ring.
Yes.
Yeah, then something is weird, because the dad's saying there was, and I don't know, man. This is twisted.
And in Seattle, there are bad parts of Seattle that you want to avoid.
Just like in Tennessee, there was no abduction.
Oh, Lisa, she's like, no, she's not from there. She's Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois. Are you in Cairo? That's my favorite town in Illinois. All right, so Teresa Sorensen says, we didn't get to tell our side of the story because there is so much more out there about all of this that needs to come out. The Sorensen family released a statement Tuesday revealing their year-long hope to find their son. They also described Eisenman's recent confessions as hurtful. I believe that Eisenman believes this. I don't think somebody would just go and kill this kid if they didn't truly believe when they went and got her out of Seattle that she wasn't trafficked. Okay? Now,
what if the girl was making up this story to get out of trouble with her dad?
mm-hmm.
That's a possibility that she made it up.
Yeah, and it was just going a bit far. She hadn't anticipated what would happen from that, you know?
I'm going to assume that her mother lives in California because that's where she's at. Because her mother's never mentioned in this story.
Yeah, the mother had, it's only been the dad and the fiance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That have been mentioned. Nothing about the daughter's mom.
Okay, yeah, they never bring her up. So again, the Sorensen family is saying that these accusations are hurtful. Now, mind you, Andrew has been missing for a year, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They just found him in this car at the end of October. So, of course, his family is going through extreme anguish too. And they're not going to believe that Andrew got involved with a sex trafficking ring. That's not going to happen.
And something else, they found him, I may be wrong, but didn't they find him in a really sketchy area?
I don't know. Dallas, was it a really sketchy area? I mean, I don't think they took him in front of the Hilton.
It used to be, Hilliard used to be a bad part of Spokane, but not anymore. They've cleaned it up.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Because it used to be, Hilliard used to be known as a high drug area.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
Okay. Well, that I don't know.
Something stinks. There's a rat stinking somewhere, and I just don't see the dad. If he admitted to all this, it's weird. What I mean?
Now let's talk about that. What, guys? He admitted to it. He told him why he did it. He told him the whole story.
Right, and it was like a crime of passion because there was no planning. He just lost it, and then it's like, what do we do? And so they stash him in the fiance's car in the trunk. Like, what were they thinking was going to happen? You know, past that, I mean, sooner or later, it's going to be discovered, and it's going to go back to them. I mean,
yeah. So as soon as they find out, he goes, "Yep, I did it."
Yeah,
but yet he hid it for a year. Something,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My question is, have the cops interviewed the daughter yet?
Yeah.
That's where the key lies, because don't tell me any detective can't listen to her story and tell right away if it's true or if it's total bullshit.
You know what? If we could hear her story, we could make probably a really good theory and an opinion.
Yep.
And as a minor, for the cops to interview her, she would have to have her mom present.
Yep. See, that's the catch-22 there.
It isn't going to make sense until you hear from her.
Right.
In my opinion. It isn't. None of this is going to make sense until she talks and we know what she said. Then we can make a theory.
And why would the cops let her leave the state without hearing her side of the story?
Well,
I
we've
don't
seen
know.
that
I mean,
happen.
have they talked to her and they're just not telling anyone? That seems plausible
Yeah, I would imagine she
because
has
they're
an
keeping her
attorney.
very well protected.
Yeah, maybe she has an attorney and he told her not to say a damn word, and so did law enforcement. Who knows?
All right. And then I'm also wondering, so if she did concoct this whole story and she was just ready to come home. Oh, hang on.
Wow. If she did make all this up, then her dad, I don't understand. He he's not thinking too clearly.
Well, parents tend to believe their children. Look at the Casey Anthony case.
Yeah.
She was a real good story fabricator.
Well, she threw her dad under the bus.
Yeah.
Casey Anthony basically just took her dad and ran over him with the bus.
Yep.
But something ain't, and it lies between the daughter and the dad, and something there is, I don't know, because I would love to hear her statement.
Another question of mine, did the dad have problems with the boyfriend? Did he not like her daughter's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Or did the boyfriend have dirt on the dad?
Because I know a lot of parents, when their kids date, some of them won't like who their kids are dating.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Especially when they take off, to Seattle on the other side of the state. And, she calls it and instead of just saying, hey, I ran off with my boyfriend, she comes up with this, he sold me for $1,000. But I agree with Kane. Can you imagine the callousness of someone selling a human life for $1,000? Maybe he needed the $1,000. He left her there.
Yeah.
When did he come back? Because obviously he came back to Spokane without her.
That we don't know. They haven't said anything on how he got back and why the dad went over there to get her. Like did
Brian
the boyfriend
Laundrie.
leave her over there and then came back to Spokane?
There's just some weird things going on.
Well, I'm looking at this right now. Both the FBI and Washington State Patrol said there is no sex trafficking investigation into the victim. That tells me they have talked to her and her story was not believable.
Mm-hmm.
So now, can Daddy's girl be in trouble for orchestrating such a lie to the point that her father killed Andrew and is now facing life in prison?
For his daughter.
Yeah.
Taking the rap for his daughter. That could very well possibly be too. There are parents that will do anything to protect their kids.
Mm-hmm.
She could be charged with accomplice to murder.
Right.
And face a lot of time in prison, but not as much as like her dad would get life, and she'd probably get maybe 20, 25 years at the most.
How old is the girl?
We don't know that, Kevin. They're protecting because she's a minor, so I'm guessing she's under the age of 18.
Yeah,
Right,
I heard she's 16. So all of this went down when she was 15.
Well, I tell you what, my daughter wouldn't have been with that man in another across the damn globe at 16 years old. Shame on them parents.
Yep. So the father rescued the girl from Seattle. He brought her back to Spokane. This was last year. He learned I don't know how, that Sorensen was going to be at an address in Airway Heights, so he drove there and waited for him to arrive. So Dad took this story hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
Because I don't believe for a minute that that man contemplated murder without believing everything Princess told him.
You're exactly right, Brooks. That was a great statement. That is exactly a fact. I'll bet you on that.
I'm with you, Kevin. Could the boyfriend have something on the dad?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, let's say the sex trafficking thing isn't true, then yes, I agree with you. I think there's something there's dirt between the boyfriend and the dad, some kind of dirt, for sure.
So you're thinking the boyfriend had dirt on the dad?
It has something on the dad. It's a sex trafficking.
Yeah,
ring. Is
maybe the
it true?
dad. Yeah, something right there that could be a big red flag. I mean, we're theorizing. We don't know. But
Right.
I'm just saying that's not out of the realm. You got to look at all options right now because we don't know. It's just a theory. But yeah, the boyfriend and the dad could be dirt on each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I got you. NBC News an hour ago was talking about it. It has the makings of a Hollywood thriller. A determined dad rescues his teenage daughter from an alleged Seattle sex trafficking ring, then takes brutal and deadly revenge on the boyfriend who he claims sold her into bondage.
Where did the dad find the girl? Anybody
In Seattle.
In Seattle.
Does anybody know where in Seattle? Was she at a hotel? Was she at a shelter?
Where?
We don't know that. And from Spokane to Seattle, depending on the traffic in Seattle, it's about a 4 to 5 hour drive.
There's just too much that's lacking for me, in my opinion, to even say, okay, I'm going to stick with this. This could go anywhere.
So, okay, anybody that's local, okay, like Dallas, this kid was missing for a year. Andrew, did you see anything on the news about a missing kid with autism, Andrew Sorensen?
No.
Nope.
That's weird.
That's a good point, Brooks. That's another good one.
That is weird.
Because, I mean, Dallas stays up to date on things. You didn't hear anything. There was no billboards, nothing. No flyers, no social media in your area looking for Andrew.
You're on fire today, Brooks. You're on fire.
Well, Kevin, I'm getting that fire from you, buddy, because you've been you've been on fire. I mean,
right.
My God.
Normally, you are so right. That's such a good statement because you're right. The news media, social media and the news, whatever, they jump on stories about somebody with disabilities in a story like this. Why was that man missing, that boy missing for a year? Nobody said a damn word.
And usually if somebody has like autistic, they would put out something, but they didn't.
Yeah. Why wasn't there why wasn't there an alert or something? You know, if somebody is disabled, which he was, if all this is true, you think that would have been big news?
Yeah, it's usually like endangered, missing person because of the autism and the cerebral palsy.
Why didn't his parents report him missing? Why didn't they blow up? Why didn't they do what why didn't they do it the same? Why did they do the same thing? I just don't understand why his parents didn't make a big deal of it.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, was he still living with his parents or was he on his own?
There's
something
that's messed up.
Strange stuff going on there.
I'm guessing he probably still lived with his parents.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because when I was 18, I was still living with my parents.
So
Yeah.
let's look at character. This boy's character. Is he with those disabilities, his character Norm, would he do something like this? I don't know. You know.
Right.
I don't know. Just roll with it. I put her comment up. Washington missing person says Andrew was missing since November 1st of 2020. Okay, and then also in this article by NBC, his name was on our missing persons listing at some point, but that does not equate to an investigation. So meaning like he could have just ran away again and they weren't looking into it?
Huh.
Well, yeah. What if his parents? Wait a minute. Let's say if his parents didn't see him for a year, why weren't they blowing up the news media? Wouldn't
maybe.
you? If your child was missing like that, wouldn't you be on TV talking?
Yeah,
I
some
would.
kind of social media campaign or something. I mean, just roll with it. If she's in here, she'll tell you about a case that we've been talking about for well over a year. A guy named Mark Fullerton out of Missouri that is murdered. He was murdered. And they're really not doing anything about it. They're saying, adults can go missing. It's not illegal as an adult to disappear.
True.
So, yeah, I mean, here he's an adult. So I'm just wondering why his parents weren't raising all kinds of hell around the community.
Why didn't they, maybe just put out a missing person? Why did his parents a whole year and they didn't make a fuss about him missing? I don't understand that at all as being a parent. I don't get that.
Well, maybe he had a history of running away or something.
That's what I'm wondering.
That's what I'm wondering too. Has he ran away before? And the parents didn't worry about him because they knew he would come home eventually.
Yeah, but still, even though, they have a history of running away, wouldn't you at least expect a phone call one in a year?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
They had no contact with that boy for a year and they didn't blow up media. I don't get that. Even though he had a history, they should have been so sus AF that they hadn't heard from their son. If it went a month without hearing from my son, I'd be a week. I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, and we have a comment on here from Lisa that says if he was very disabled, like the parents are claiming, cerebral palsy, low IQ, autism, they would have had him as missing and endangered. They would have definitely been looking for him. There's a lot to this story they're not putting out. Washington State Police said we have no investigation of him related to sex trafficking. So they've put that to rest. Something else is going on here. What do you think it is?
I just keep coming back to the girl ran away with this guy, and then it didn't go as expected. She knew she'd be in trouble when she called her dad, so she fabricated the story.
That's a good theory.
Mm-hmm.
That is. That's very plausible.
Mm-hmm.
But is this guy stupid enough to do? I mean, I shouldn't say stupid, but is he going to take the fall for his daughter? Knowing? I don't understand. I just can't see this man just going to kill this boy for no reason.
Oh, no, he believed it. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
Oh, yeah. And he's not going to throw his daughter under the bus.
Nope.
Because he did the killing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I wouldn't throw my kid under the bus if I killed somebody either.
Nope. But now what's also interesting is in July of 2020, Sorensen pled not guilty to charges of 4th-degree assault, marijuana possession, and intent to sell marijuana that were logged against him by the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. Marijuana, I don't care about that. But he obviously was violent with someone. Okay.
Who,
Yeah.
the boyfriend?
The boyfriend.
No,
Yeah, well, he sold pot.
No, I'm talking about the 4th-degree assault. What's 4th-degree assault? What do you do? Hurt someone's feelings or slap them?
Probably slapped him.
Yeah,
It's not-
probably hurt somebody.
In April of 2019, available records show a woman requested a temporary order of protection against Sorensen, but apparently the request was denied after a court hearing. So he's had a history of being a violent person.
You know what surprises me? There's not a domestic charge between the boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm surprised there's not a heated moment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weird. This case is weird.
Brooks, you could probably look into that because I know court records are public.
Somebody was threatened enough to ask for an order of protection. His parents aren't bringing that up. He pled not guilty to 4th-degree assault, which means to me that got lessened from something else.
Yeah.
You know what I would love to do? I would love to be able to sit down with her dad and look in his eyes when he tells the story. I would love to see that, because you would be able to see if there was real pain. I mean, you know what I'm saying. If he would be authentic or not.
Yeah.
Or if he's just taking a fall for his daughter. Maybe he didn't kill him. Maybe his daughter did or something. I don't know. He's taking the fall for a reason. And what is that reason?
But is he taking the fall, or is he telling them he was justified in his actions because of what he believes his daughter was put through?
It's got to be one of those two things.
Well, the way it was worded is he was, it was because of his daughter, and he's saying he's justified.
Yeah, that's his defense. That's his defense. So he's got $1 million bond. It says Brenda Cross and her daughter, Ashley Cross, launched an online campaign to raise funds to pay for his defense. So maybe that GoFundMe is still open, because I was checking on it the other day. I've been really curious about this case.
I just looked up 4th-degree assault in my state. It's a maximum of a year in jail and a $5,000 fine.
Well, and also I believe that it was reduced from something else. This was done between attorneys because he pled guilty to it,
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 4th-degree assault is a gross misdemeanor in Washington State.
So was he on probation from that? I mean, did he have to do community service? I mean, he wasn't in jail for it, was he?
He didn't go to jail.
No.
Well, the one thing we do know is this dad is going to prison because of his strong beliefs. I mean, that man totally believes a story. I don't know what it is, but he must have believed it, like you said, bro, hook, line, and sinker, because he killed the boy.
He did. And the body went unnoticed for an entire year. An entire year. I'm wondering, was someone moving the car around?
Yeah, that makes me wonder too, because it looks like, a car being parked in the same place and never moved.
Did his daughter
and
kill him?
The smell's got to be through the roof walking by it.
Would it be possible to say that his daughter killed her boyfriend and his dad's taking the fall?
Oh, that's hard to say.
And the intent to distribute any amount of marijuana is a Class C felony, punishable up to 5 years in prison, or a fine up to $10,000.
Where?
In my state.
God, I'm not moving there. I'll be in prison.
even though it's legal, you can still get charged if you have baggies and marijuana in your possession because it's still considered intent to distribute.
Well, in Michigan, I'm allowed to grow. I have care page. I'm allowed to grow 75 plants. I can have 10 ounces on my possession at any time, as long as it's locked away in my car. So, man, y'all got strict laws, man.
In my state, we can have up to an ounce on us without getting in trouble.
Well,
We just can't have the baggies.
Kane has a good point here. I still want to know how the father found the daughter. I read, and you know, I believe everything I read on the internet, guys. So please quote me on this.
I will.
That she called him and told him where she was, and he went and got her.
You don't. She got gone.
She got gone.
Like, what part of Seattle was it? In Seattle? Was it in the outskirts of Seattle? Because Seattle is huge. There's like suburbs of Seattle, like Tacoma, Bellingham.
I'd like to know if the area was sketchy where you found her. That would be my first question.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she wasn't at the Four Seasons, but she was somewhere, and she was ready to come home. And I also want to know how long they were gone, and how she got away from the traffickers. You're sold into bondage. They're not like, yeah, go ahead and call your dad. I heard it's his birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
There are parts of Seattle where you want to avoid, like where the homeless hang out. And that's in like downtown Seattle.
I don't know. There's just a lot of sketchy stuff.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, because the father, basically gave up his freedom to do what he thought was right. Because I can't find anything on him. Did you find anything, what big eyes, on the dad?
There was something about a traffic thing, I think.
Okay.
Something, but that's it. You know.
Yeah, all we know is that he had no criminal record. That this was his first.
Right.
Well, that right there tells you this man strongly, whatever it is, he's very passionate about it. Passionate enough that supposedly he killed somebody. So that tells me that he was 150,000% convinced of whatever was made him do it.
Oh, I agree. Nobody's going to risk their freedom, their bed, their couch, their TV, their car, their job, their livelihood, unless they feel strongly about it.
Yeah. Evidently, he is very passionate about it.
So so it comes out that she wasn't sex trafficked. What's the jury going to do? What's the jury going to decide? Obviously, we have no idea because we're nowhere close to that. Are they going to be like, hey, your daughter made this whole story up, so we're going to consider you not guilty for just not checking out her story? Am I making sense by bringing that up?
No, he's in trouble, period. That man, in my opinion, I think he's going to jail for a while. But,
he's in jail now. I'm talking about when it gets in front of 12 of his peers. Are they going to see it from his side? Because by then they're going to lay everything out and say she wasn't sex trafficked. This whole story was made up by her. Are they going to throw the book at him and be like, hey, you're a dumbass. You're going to jail forever?
Let's look at this theory for a minute. What could she have possibly been involved in for her dad to do such a thing? What? Okay, let's just look for a second. I mean, maybe his daughter was involved in. I don't know.
Well, it depends how it's charged when he comes to the trial. If the jury is left with either, it was justifiable homicide or not, or if they can, go for a lower thing like manslaughter, something like that. It just depends,
Yeah,
possibly.
because okay, let's put it. This is my opinion. There was something when it all boils down to this. There was something I believe happening to his daughter that really set him off. I don't know what that is. It could be a bunch of things, but evidently something I think bad was happening because I just don't see this man taking a fall for no reason. I just don't see it.
No, because he believes in his heart of hearts that she was being sex trafficked. He believes that she was really sold.
Yeah, and maybe she was.
Well, and my question is, let's pretend like they lay it all out for the jury and say, look, she wasn't sex trafficked. She wasn't sold, anything like that. How's the defense going to spin that to him and say, this is what he believed and this is why he did what he did? Would you acquit him or say, no, you're going to jail?
Or what if law enforcement has it wrong right now? What if it was sex trafficking? They do make mistakes.
Yeah, we're very early in the investigation.
Or
I mean, what big guys, as a juror, what would you do? Would you be like, no, he's going to jail forever for believing her?
Well, he murdered.
Mhm.
Okay.
right.
So, that's the thing. I don't believe unless someone's trying to kill you and you kill them to keep them from killing you, that's justifiable homicide. But any other cases, no, it's not. Just because of a story or how you found your daughter, maybe she did get beat up and that's why she wanted to go back home. You don't know. But still, that's no reason to kill someone. You get the cops to haul them in.
I'm just afraid if this is all true that I would have been I can honestly see someone doing that. See it being so enraged that their daughter was sold into sex slavery and was kidnapped. That's enough for me to take care of somebody. Seriously. I think I would be in prison. That's my own opinion. And I don't believe in killing people. But that right there is justifiable homicide to me.
Well, and could it be insanity? Because he gets his daughter. She tells this insane story. They don't file a police report in Seattle. They don't file one in Spokane. And he snaps and goes and kills him. Could it be insanity? I don't know. I mean, he hit him for a year.
That's the thing right there. That is, to me, a red flag. That right there was a great point because he's admitting all this. And if it was because of rage in his daughter, then wouldn't he have come out and just said that instead of hiding the body? I mean, not telling anyone for a year? It seems to me this man would have fessed up. He killed somebody for his daughter. Wouldn't he fess up?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Celeste said, I don't know. It sounds like something out of the movie Taken. I've got special skills, Andrew.
Yeah, or Man on Fire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that man was, in my opinion, anyone that tied my daughter up to a post and throw full beer cans at her naked and then throw her off of a bridge, you bet your ass they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So, I mean, I don't know. He's going to have to, hopefully he gets a good attorney because
he's going to need it.
He's going to need it. I mean, he's guilty.
He is in trouble.
Guilty. He is guilty as midnight is dark. There is no getting around it.
Yeah. He's in trouble.
I'm just kind of wondering how the jury is going to view him.
He might, if this was truly if it comes out, this truly was that, this man may not spend very much time at all in jail. It could go that way too. It was justifiable. I mean, you got to have some compassion for the man.
Okay, so what happens when they put his daughter on the stand and she spins the exact same tale she gave daddy and the jury's like, Yeah, we agree with him. We agree
Yeah.
with he was protecting his daughter.
Exactly.
Because she obviously is convincing. I personally do not believe, just my opinion, we all can agree to disagree in here. I don't believe she was trafficked. I don't believe she was sold into slavery. I don't believe she was sold into bondage. But I think that she had something extremely convincing for him, hence why he's in jail with $1 million bond.
I agree with you. I don't think at their ages and everything, I don't think it was sex trafficking either whatsoever. I just don't believe that either at all. But something, her dad's very passionate about, that happened to his daughter or something.
So, Dallas, what do you think is going to happen? Because they will have to put her on the stand. There is no way the defense attorney is not going to use her because that's their defense.
I think that they won't believe the daughter about the sex trafficking.
Right. What do you think it is, Dallas?
I think that something set the dad off.
What do you think it was? Just a theory. What's your theory?
Possibly that his daughter was doing drugs. That's my theory. I could be totally wrong that he didn't like that his daughter was doing drugs, which what kid at that age doesn't experiment with drugs?
So you think her doing, you don't even have to answer, but I just, if she was doing drugs, the boyfriend, let's just say the boyfriend was getting them for or whatever, would he be enraged enough to kill somebody over that?
No, I think
I would be I'd be mad at the daughter and the boyfriend, but it wouldn't make me go kill somebody just because my kid was doing drugs.
Yeah, because my daughter died of fentanyl and her boyfriend is the one that got it for her. Yeah, I was pissed bad. But I didn't get to the point of wanting to kill him. But if the sex trafficking thing would have happened to my daughter, you're damn right, I'd have went off. I don't know. It's just this. I would love to hear from the girl.
Okay, Juicy Tequila Bobo said, as a law enforcement wife, if they didn't file a police report, I'm having trouble getting around that.
Right.
Me,
Yeah.
too. Wouldn't you go straight to the police? Because she's going to have descriptions of, well, who bought her,
Exactly.
who has the money, where she was.
Yeah, because it's not just the supposed guy that trafficked her. It's the other ones involved. You'd want them all to be, rounded up.
Yeah, you can't have a damn sex trafficking ring and a 15-year-old was in it being violated and then just say, nah, that didn't happen, girl. The FBI is saying no. And they want to catch people like that. They want to catch that shit.
And I know in most states, to file a missing report, I think it's either 24 or 48 hours in most states before you can file a missing. But if it was my kid missing, I would go that day if my kid didn't come. I wouldn't wait the 24 hours or 48 hours.
See, and I think that's a misconception. People say that you have to wait 24 hours. I think you can file it anytime. What do you know about that? What Big Eyes? Because I've been hearing that too, and people are like, "No, you don't have to wait 24 hours."
Well, I don't think you do, especially if you think there's something really going on there, and it's just not just, oh well, maybe she went to her friend's house or No, I think you can do it sooner.
It's just how fast they're going to act with his history. He had ran away before. they're not going to, they're not going to do a summer well search and rescue for him because he could have easily just gotten out of town again.
Right.
Wendy B brings up a point. She thinks the boyfriend was set up.
Well, that's
Oh,
possible.
he damn sure was.
That's possible.
Yeah, I think
just
the
like to-
dad. I think the dad did not like the boyfriend for some reason.
Oh, that's obvious.
I just
But-
like to know more about the girl's
Yeah.
history.
Me too.
Was she a straight A student in school? Was she a truant problem?
Well,
Had she-
she was compassionate enough to date a guy that had medical problems, cerebral palsy and all that. So she does have a heart, in my opinion. But so I don't think she was scum of the earth, or
No,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
not
I don't
saying
think she'd
that.
pick a boyfriend with I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I would love to hear from her. Oh,
Yeah.
So, Dallas, are you hearing anything around there? I know it's really early in this. Will they put her on the stand? Because she's the key to all of this.
They probably will,
they're
but
gonna
not
have
in front of a jury. They would probably videotape it and then play it for the jury to protect her because she's
Yeah.
a minor.
Are they going to allow her to get up there and lie, though? Because, by now they've already figured out that this sex trafficking story is not true. How can she get up there under oath she's 16, so she'll be 17 then. And, and tell them this crazy tale that didn't happen. How could
No, they won't let her lie because if she does, then this either the state or defense will go at her hard.
I'll tell you right now, if she tried to do that, I could be the lawyer. Them lawyers will rip her to shreds.
Mhm.
They're not gonna. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly. I look for this thing. Maybe is it already set for trial or not?
Oh, no,
No.
nowhere near.
This may never go to trial.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. The problem, the DA
Mm-hmm.
will probably
Yep.
make him an offer so
Yep.
they can spare the daughter from going on the stand.
Yep. You made a valid
I
point.
say put her in the hot seat. What do you think? What, Big Eyes?
Yeah. She needs to testify.
Yeah, bring
But-
her outside of California. Put her in the hot seat.
But see, if he makes a deal to protect her, then it won't, go before a jury. It'll just be before the judge for sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could probably put her on the stand.
Okay, look at this. If he was passionate enough to kill that boy, I guarantee you he's going to take a plea bargain to keep his daughter from being crucified on the stand. That man is going to take a deal. This will never go to trial, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't heard of any lesser charge. All I've heard is that he's charged with murder.
Okay, first of all, if evidently he's very protective of his daughter because he killed somebody in her name for her. Okay, he's damn sure. If he feels that way and he's that passionate of a parent, I do not believe he's going to let this go all the way without taking a deal to spare his daughter's embarrassment or whatever it may be. This man is going to do everything he can for his daughter because he's done it from the beginning. He killed the man. That's what I think. So anyway,
What I think the DA will probably offer is probably 20 to life.
Yep, and he'll take it.
And I'm with you, Kevin. He'll take it.
Because think about it. If you were protecting your daughter as insanely as he is, he's going to take a 20-year deal. No sweat. He's already put his neck out there for murder. Okay? 20 years. I mean, I don't know how old the man is right now, you know.
He's
But
60.
okay, so he'd be 80 some, you know. He's at the age, in my opinion, I'm 62, and he's at the age, in my opinion, where he's already killed somebody, then he's going to keep protecting his daughter. He's going to do whatever it takes to spare her embarrassment, her lies, or whatever, or the truth, and put her through all that. He'll just take the deal.
Okay, I just looked, and in Washington State, because like I said, she'll be older, and I don't know how fast the court systems work there. I'm not familiar with how things are in Washington, except it's a beautiful state. It's gorgeous. They will put her on the stand. I mean, she's not 9.
Yeah.
So she will be on the stand. So it's going to be her choice. Here's her fork in the road. Is she going to tell them why she lied to her dad about what was going on? Or is she going to continue her lie?
Or is she telling the truth?
She could be telling the truth, but for some reason, it's
Well,
not believable. The FBI is saying that there is no ties to any kind of sex trafficking.
Right. Well, we know all about the law enforcement not doing anything and not saying nothing. We've seen that.
But they came right out and said there's nothing like that going on.
Right. But what I'm saying is her dad, I mean, yeah, I agree. She needs to answer. The truth needs to be found, because the dad actually, he deserves that much, in my opinion, for sticking up for his daughter the way he did. You know, I truly believe that something drastic was happening with his daughter for him to kill a teenager. You know, so when it's all said and done, who knows? I mean, there could have been a sex trafficking ring. They said it's not, so maybe there wasn't, but something was bad happening, or she just told her dad a story. But seems to me he's the kind of guy that's just going to roll with it.
Well, here's something that just came to mind. Here's another what if theory. What if the girl is telling the truth because the guy that was murdered told her he was part of a sex trafficking ring and that he had sold her? What if that happened?
That's what I'm saying. If it truly was a sex trafficking ring, that's a good point. Then I'm behind this man 100%. Sorry. I know a lot of people may think that's terrible, but I find that justifiable homicide in my mind. Maybe I'm stupid, but if somebody did that to my daughter, I honestly think, I may not have, but I honestly think I'd see red. I'd be raped. No doubt.
But my theory is, what if the guy told the girl that, she believed it, but he was full of it. He was making that up.
Oh.
You see?
Yeah. Anything. Yeah. Sure.
Brooks, Holly brings up a good point. She says, I wish Summer would have a dad like that.
Yeah, no shit.
Gave 2 shits about her.
That's the best comment I've heard all day.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's that. Whoever said that, kudos to you. My hat.
It was Holly B, Kevin. Holly B said that.
Thank you, Holly B. That was the best thing I've heard in 5 months.
Well, I think we know Don's busy doing other stuff. He doesn't have time to take vengeance on the Phantom abductors.
Yeah, he's busy racking up people because he gave an interview.
This man right here is a man that loves his daughter 100%, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, and let's look at what parents do for their children. Obviously, the Wells are not an example. Let's look at Scott and Stacey Jones. Everything they're going through for Michaela.
Yep.
Anything they can do, they're doing. You know, this father felt like his daughter was in danger. Him, you know, waiting. I don't understand what went on. I don't know why he didn't go to the police. If he thought that she was going to be ridiculed or, you know, put through hell over it. I don't know. He
Well,
decided to take care of it himself.
Real
look
parents.
at the Claire case out of Tennessee. Look at what her family is doing, trying to get her their story out there because no one will do anything.
Mhm.
Yeah. And parents that love their kids, it'd be a damn cold day in hell do I let something bad happen to one of my kids or grandkids. I'm going down fighting. Period. You know, this new age of abusing your kids and all this shit, you can't, is bull crap, man. People need to get back to loving their family.
Yeah,
That's
and
like
also,
me.
I mean, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dallas.
I'm not a parent. Like I have friends that are parents. I would do anything to protect their kids.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you what, people will take the law into their own hands. I understand exposure on social media. I understand getting a billboard on the side of the highway. I get things like that. But when you're interfering, whether it's a case like this where he killed the man, you know, that's not good.
No.
That's not good.
No, you know, what he did is wrong for sure.
Mhm.
But I can see it happening. Okay? I mean, in my opinion, you don't go killing people because they did something bad, right? But I can understand this man's rage. Seriously. And maybe he's the kind of man that was so enraged that he just snapped. He couldn't control it. He seen red and snapped. But
I think he
don't
snapped
agree
for
with
sure.
him.
I think he snapped for sure. That's why I'm wondering about temporary insanity,
But I don't
insanity.
I don't agree with him hiding the facts for a year. That I don't agree with. He should have come right out from the get-go and said, I did this because my daughter was being sex trafficked. So, you know, let the cards roll. But he hid it for a year. That I don't agree with.
Well, and here's the other deal. He went and got his daughter, brought her back, and then went back, supposedly, is that right? And killed the guy. So that would be like he couldn't plead in temporary insanity.
Okay, that's a red flag then, because that opens up a whole can of worms. If he brought his daughter back and then went back there, something about that ain't right. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if it was just, in my opinion, if it was just out of rage, the man would have fessed up right in the beginning, right?
Yep.
I mean, I don't understand why he brought her and then went back and did that. That's a lot of fishiness.
I mean, is that what you read, Brooks? That he got her and brought her back and then went back and killed the guy?
I read that it took him a week to find him and that he had heard where he was going to be and basically ambushed him there.
Okay. Well, that rules out insanity.
Yeah, that's almost like a premeditated.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is this man, something drastic was going on. We can assume that, I would think. For him to get mad enough or raged enough to kill somebody, something wasn't just a little inky dinky thing. Something bad was happening. Something that was intense enough for him to kill someone.
Just roll with it, said. By the way, she's the one that made the thumbnail, guys, and she has great work. She said it's too late to plead insanity. He waited a week to kill him, then hit him for a year. I'm just curious what the defense is going to do. I mean, this has been all over the news.
He shouldn't have hit him for a year. It would have looked better if he didn't.
And what I think the defense attorney is going to ask for is a change of venue. Get it outside of Spokane County because it's been all over the news, all over social media, the national news.
Yep.
Because in Spokane County, it's going to be hard to find a biased jury.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have been reading that in that area, they're all singing Dad's praises. I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing.
What? Yeah. I don't think you're going to really even be able to even figure this out until afterwards when the girl if she gets, like you said, if she has to go on the stand. And then once we hear the whole story, there's a big puzzle piece missing here. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I think that puzzle piece is sitting at her mama's house in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd love to hear from her. I guarantee you, at her age and our age, if we could just watch her and hear from her, I'll bet you we could come up with a great theory.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to the dad too.
Also, at her age, okay, so I heard that she's 16. So when this went down, she was 15. That's a very crazy story for her to concoct. So I'm wondering what really went on.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an insane story. We've all been teenagers. We know the stuff that we used to tell our parents. We wouldn't just pull sex trafficking out of the air. Hey, where have you been? I had to come to Seattle to get you. Oh, sex trafficked.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and the dad was passionate enough. So evidently, in his eyes, what he's seen was 100% correct, what his daughter was saying. So maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't. But something made that man go off, and it wasn't just a little itty bitty circumstance. That's for sure.
We've all lied to our parents as teenagers.
Sure. Oh, yeah. But she came up with a doozy of a story. That's a big one.
And I would never come up with that kind of story to tell my parents.
And being a parent, 15-year-old girls are a handful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, 15 years old. I mean, what kind of news is she keeping up with that she would know how to orchestrate this story?
Because girls are vicious.
Oh, you think? I think we went through that.
I just can you, Brooks, can you see her making this up?
I don't see how she could.
I don't either.
But then again, we haven't heard from the girl. I mean, I'm proud of her mom for keeping her protected.
And maybe law enforcement is playing that card, not saying anything. We're used to that, you know. Maybe law enforcement is, because they are investigating the sex ring. They're not going to come out and say, "Yup, that's what happened." No.
Damn right, she was trafficked. We found it all. No, you're right.
Mama Kay brings up a good point. What if she killed him and he is taking the whole fall?
Yeah.
But or maybe she was involved in, let's say, pornographic, but not sex trafficking. Maybe she was in with some really scummy people, and the boyfriend, and the dad found out. It could be something like that. Maybe she was in a ring, but she wasn't kidnapped or not. Maybe it was pornographic crap. We don't know. It could be that.
Yeah. What if the dad told the daughter to say that?
Right. That's a good point, Dallas. That's a great point.
Yeah, so like the dad could have come up with the story, but then the dad went and killed him. Was the
But-
dad in trouble because she was gone? Do we know
Oh.
anything about that? Because she obviously wasn't going to school.
But what I find with the dad that confuses me and that's very sus is that not reporting it for a year. Something right there ain't that right there tells me that I don't know why. If the dad was so passionate to protect his daughter, wouldn't he have said that from the get-go? Why would he have not said anything for a year?
Well, I don't think he planned on saying anything ever
Well, that's true.
He wasn't going to say anything. No, he
because
wasn't going to say anything.
yeah, that's how it all came about. When they discovered the body in the trunk, they started checking for the vehicle owner, and that's how they linked back to him.
So what's the deal about the stolen car?
They reported the car stolen a year previous.
Who did?
The father and his fiance Brenda.
So the father of the girl reported. So they're saying that he stole her car.
They're saying their car was stolen. Okay,
dad-
so yeah.
Okay, so the boy had the girlfriend's dad's car.
No, he didn't steal it. He didn't steal it. I think that was all made up because that's where they put him. And I'm wondering where his fiance fits into this because I don't think he just did this himself. She obviously has known for the last year that her 1991 green Honda was missing.
Yeah.
Andrew is missing.
That's what I was trying to get. I don't understand why. Yeah, that don't make sense.
Well,
Another question that comes to mind is, did the dad tell his daughter's mom that he went to Seattle to get their daughter?
yeah, you just don't know.
Why would the boyfriend steal the fiance's car?
No, they didn't say he stole it. They reported the car stolen. And it was like, okay, if you happen to find a body in there, we didn't do it because we reported this car missing, you know.
So what you're saying is they used the car to hide the body, but reported it stolen so they couldn't be linked back to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand. I didn't understand what you were saying. I thought, well, the boyfriend stole the car.
No.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah. You shouldn't have done that.
My question is, has the cops looked into the drug thing? If they were doing drugs?
You want to know something? In my opinion, I absolutely 100% believe that drugs are involved in this some way or another. Some way or another, there was drug use. Because how many crimes are drugs involved in?
Exactly.
I mean, I guarantee you there's a shady part to this story, and it's drugs. I just have that feeling.
Kevin, I have a question for you. Would you get mad at your daughter if she was experimenting with marijuana at that age?
Would I get mad at her?
Yeah.
Yes, I would. I would sit down. I would have to talk to her about it, but I wouldn't crucify her over it because that's a very, in my opinion, a hard age. There's a lot of peer pressure. There's a lot, I'd want to find out where she was getting the drugs. First of all, I would know about her boyfriend if she was involved with a boy, but no, I wouldn't crucify her, but yeah, I would be mad in a way. Yeah, I would.
Well, my question, if they were doing marijuana, how were they getting it? Was it from the streets? Because here you can't get marijuana going into a dispensary. You have to be 21.
Right. That's how it is here too, unless you have a medical card, from a medical card. But I wouldn't crucify my daughter over drinking or marijuana or I'd be more concerned for her. I'd be more concerned for her choices instead of screaming it. I wish I had my daughter here
and that was the only thing that was wrong was she was smoking weed. I would trade that any day of the year. But you don't realize that crap until you lose something. You know?
I would rather have my kid do marijuana than the harder stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But it's just that you need to, the point is you got to listen to your kids. I mean, it's really hard to do, but sometimes they have to be able to trust you to tell you anything, and that's what you try to teach them, that you're their best friend. But it's hard, they follow a different path sometimes, and it's sad sometimes, and it ends up really bad.
Oh, it's super sad, Kevin. Super sad. Super sad what happened to your daughter. Super sad what happened to you and what you had to go through. Awful. Awful. I got to address this comment real quick. Holly said, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the boyfriend is being portrayed as mentally handicapped. I think that's kind of how they're trying to put it out there. But he obviously was intelligent enough to get to Seattle and hide out and get her to go with.
I think his parents are the ones that are pushing that. In my
Brooke,
opinion.
Rebecca just said something about the Noah Claire case. They were spotted in Parker, Arizona. She just got an Amber Alert.
Well, I hope they find him soon.
Yeah, I heard that there were inappropriate relations between the daughter and the father who has both of them.
Who has an Amber Alert?
Noah Claire.
It's a different case.
Oh, all right.
We haven't gotten to that one yet, man. It's a phew. I was talking to What Big Eyes about it yesterday.
Yeah,
that's...
like, I'm not going to say which creator I heard it from, but she's talking to the family and they want to try and get it out there. And the Claire case, and they said they're like any big YouTube with a big following creator. We'll talk about it. And she brought up your name, Brooke, say you'd be a great one to cover that case.
Yeah, the uncle called me yesterday, and when I called him back, it went to voicemail. So, I mean, his phone's obviously getting blown up. But, yeah, I'd be glad to cover it.
You know what? And the other thing is, if this kid was so medically handicapped, I'm going to go right back to what I just said. Mm-hmm. I think the news media would have jumped on this, so would have law enforcement, if that was the case. If he was that debilitated to the point of what his parents are saying now, I think that would have been exposed a long time ago.
Well, I think a year ago when he went missing on November 1st of 2020, exactly. It would have been missing and endangered.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Exactly. That's automatic when you have someone with autism and especially the cerebral palsy thing.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
In hindsight, go ahead.
Well, I just have to wonder why now. You know what I'm saying? Why not when he was first missing?
Yeah, why weren't they raising hell a year ago? That's very odd to me, especially if he had been in Seattle with her. They could have had this solved a year ago.
Maybe we're talking about two dysfunctional families here.
Yeah.
I'd love to know the family dynamics of this, of both sides. That would help us make a decision too.
Exactly. And was the daughter living with the father? He's bound to have been divorced from the girl's mother because he has a fiance, unless he, believes in multiple marriages at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, who knows? The background of these families, I would love to know. That would tell you a lot about behavior, for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mama Kay said if that's the case, he should have never been allowed to travel without his parents. So His parents are to blame too, if that's the case. And he has been missing for a year. I just see so many things in this story that make no sense. And if Dad Patrol, who is sitting in jail for killing Andrew, I mean, hey, hindsight's 2020, and I hate the woulda, shoulda game. But you know what? If he had his eyes on Princess, none of this would have happened.
Right.
I just said
She
that.
would have never been around him. She would have never wound up in Seattle.
Nope, not on my watch. I said that already. This should have never happened. Period. If the parents, but I mean, you should have, would have, could have. I tried or whatever, but I don't think, in my opinion, they tried hard enough. This should have never happened. There shouldn't be a dead person in this case.
Well, just look at the Claire case with the man. I think it's Amber Claire, who's missing, who's 16, that ran away with the uncle. Okay. The parents tried to cut off all ties and thought they had, yet she was behind the scenes, was maintaining ties with this guy. And then in the middle of the night, she leaves.
Right.
They wake up and she's gone, and she left them notes. So, you can think you're in control,
Yep.
but you're not. And so we don't know anything in this case about what the poor dad was trying to do. And
That's what I'm saying. Their ages of when this happened, there is a lot of peer pressure, a lot of stupid things that kids do. There's so much that could be going on in these dynamics, for sure.
yep.
I agree.
I agree with Holly B. His parents do seem suspicious.
Yeah. Something ain't right there with that family dynamic. That man missing for a year and they didn't blow up the news outlets. Something ain't right.
Yeah, I mean, Just Roll With It said there's a missing persons poster. But I mean, where have they been? Did they set up a Facebook page? I don't know. I haven't looked. I didn't even think about it until we were doing this show. Were they out in front of the media saying he's missing, he's endangered, he's got cerebral palsy, he's autistic,
Right.
he can't take care of himself, we can't find our son?
There's something sus about all that, Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to know the family dynamics. We're not going to find out a lot because this girl's a minor. So I think, in my opinion, we better get used to theories because I don't think we're going to find out until the day she's on the stand or whatever. But I do look for a plea bargain.
Yeah, and if that happens, then we may never know.
Right. It's very, very sensitive when these ages are when her age is involved into something that's, but who knows? I mean, she could end up going to jail, I don't know. But
Yep.
they do lock up teenagers. Yeah, what if she lied about all this? Okay. What if her dad believed her 100% and she lied about all this? Wow. Can you imagine that if you were her dad?
Yeah.
Maybe this is all a big cockamamie, but her dad, like Brooke said, her dad believed it and he rolled with it. He rolled the dice and he might be losing, but, if she did, shame on her. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we may never know if he takes a plea. That's just
right. And I could listen. If he went as far as to killing somebody, I think he would do that for his daughter to keep her from being crucified and exposed. But like Brooke said, if it's the law that she has to go on the stand, then he can't control that.
Well, and Holly B said if she lied, she needs to be held accountable.
Yes, she does. I agree
because
with that.
Andrew is dead. Her dad is in jail.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, she needs to. She's not a little 2-year-old. She knows right from wrong. She's old enough to know that. Okay. Yeah, she needs to. If she's lying, that girl needs to fess up. Which, if she is lying, I think that's going to come out. And I do think
it'd be easy to crack a little kid like that. Seriously, it would.
Mhm.
He's not a career criminal like Don Wells.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, if she told a lie to get out of the thing, she didn't think that her dad would go
Right.
that far. And so now she's really in a pinch
Yep.
because, you know, so she'll crack if they
Oh,
even, you know, have a good talking with her.
how hard is it going to be to crack a 16-year-old? Seriously. You know, all you got to do is use reverse psychology at that age. And you can find out a lot. Kids aren't, at that age, they're not, how do I even want to say this? They're not that sophisticated in lying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kids, the law enforcement could crack a 16-year-old easy, in my opinion.
Did the daughter go to Seattle with the boyfriend to get away from something?
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
like maybe the dad was involved in something?
Well, maybe the
Yeah.
father was, sexually abusing her.
Yep.
And she ran away, and that's his infatuation with her. And she made up this story, and he went nuts and killed the boyfriend. How long has she been in California? Is this recent, or is this when she got back from Seattle? Because I can't find that either.
Yeah.
Probably when
There's-
she got back from Seattle when her dad went to jail. So it has to be recent that she's in California.
Okay, so not last year when she came back from Seattle.
No.
Okay.
Well, let's just say this for sure.
And again, I'm just throwing a theory out there. I'm not saying that the dad did anything to her.
Yeah.
This
Let's
is
just
a
say
very weird story.
The truth is going to come out. They're going to crack this case really easy. Seriously, think about it. I mean, they're going to find out the truth in this for sure. That girl is going to fold. She's not a career enough criminal to keep lying and hiding the story. I mean, eventually this little girl is going to break for sure, in my opinion.
I'm kind of thinking she already has, considering the FBI is saying there's no sex ring. She
Right.
wasn't involved in a sex ring.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think, What Big Eyes?
Yeah. And two, you know, as far as how sophisticated a liar she is or was, or if it at all, you know, it depends on the maturity of the 15-year-old. You might have a 15-year-old who is a typical 15-year-old, or maybe they're on the spectrum of being 12, or they could be 15 going on 30. We don't know. We don't have anything to judge her personality and how she comes across by, because there's nothing there. It's all, you know, protected. So,
Yeah.
you know,
If we knew the background on this little girl, I call it 16. I call her little, but if we knew the background on this, I think we could come to a really good decision.
yeah.
Well, and someone is obviously doing their due diligence. She is not on social media. She's not
Right.
speaking to anyone. I mean, you know how hard it is to keep a kid off their phone?
Yep.
I think, and that's, in my opinion, that's exactly what a person should do, really. Whether
Mhm.
you're right or wrong, you don't go blabbing your mouth off. And the lawyer, I mean, I'm sure she's got an attorney.
Or has some kind of guidance somewhere. Someone's
For sure.
obviously, yeah.
For sure.
Well, guys, this has been another great chat, another crazy story. Hey, Dallas, thank you for bringing this to us. What
You're
Big Eyes?
welcome.
Thanks for all your research and your insight into this.
Yeah,
Kevin,
thank you,
as
Dallas.
always, my friend. I think you had 15 different avatars today.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, me?
Oh, yeah.
You're-
No, there's no one.
My favorite one's
God,
that one.
Kevin.
That's my favorite one. Loser. Yeah.
Or
but,
liar.
Dallas,
Liar.
And
Yeah.
I love, yeah, liar, lunatic. I mean, there's
Mhm.
a lot of words, ludicrous. But I just want to thank everybody for listening to me run my yap.
Hey, every day, all day, Kevin. We all got time for it, right?
Exactly.
We have the best
Yeah,
chat,
we
best
do.
community.
I
Hey,
definitely
you guys,
have
make
time.
sure you sub the channel
Oh.
and you hit the reminder. We're going to continue to follow this case. So as things come out, we will definitely schedule a live. So check the community tab on our YouTube page, and it should have the upcoming lives. But the big thing is make sure you hit the reminder to get the notification. Some people don't get their notifications, so I try to put out as many reminders as possible. But anyhow, thank you much, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody. Thanks,
Bye.
Dallas.
Thanks, Dallas. Bye-bye.
Yep.